Is another tag along show on your favorite channel, Premier Sport Fans Center. It's English Football League round of games, round of 16 to be precise. And the main game we are following right now that we'll be giving you live update on is the game between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. It's a round of 16. Anyone who wins from here will go into the round of 8. And it's a knockout football game. Straight to penalties, no VAR checks and all. And we are in for an exciting time today with us. We promise that you will enjoy every bit of it as we go ahead with the game between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. And we'll be giving you live update on some of the other games going on today. We still have other games in the Serie A, like Juventus, Lecce, and even Barcelona too will soon come up later on in the course of the show. My name remains Adeyemi. I'll be your host for today, and I'm in the studio with my regular suspects. But before I introduce them, I will go for a very short break, and after the break, we'll be right back, and we'll get right to it. Stay with us. Watch a long show. I'm not alone in the studio. From my far right, I have the F1 Terrib himself, Shegun. Shegun, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Yemi. Good evening, Solomon. Good evening, football lovers. Good evening to Manchester United fans. We have Manchester United against Crystal Palace, and looking at the squad, Manchester United's setup today is looking like a very strong Manchester United squad. Yeah. So we expect probably it should be one squad that will actually get the job done today. Probably they have the English Premiership on Saturday, in mind, talking about they are still playing the same Crystal Palace in the coming weekend. Yeah. Probably that is why Eric Ten has gone for a strong squad. And one thing you can't take away from it is that they've lacked that continuity or that ability to play along together this season. Yeah. It hasn't really been a good season. It has been a mixed season for Manchester United. Yeah. Probably that's what prompted this this strong squad selection from Eric Ten. First start for Amrabat, and everybody's interested in seeing what he can actually bring to the Manchester United starting 11. So let's see. It promises to be an interesting game, no doubt.
Yeah. It promises to be an exciting game. It's more or less like a Premier League fixture because they are both Premier League teams. And I also have in the studio the gaffer himself, Solomon. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a nice day to talk about football again. And this time around, we're talking about the EFL, the English Football League, the Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup. And then, thank God we are watching the defending champion, that is Manchester United. They won it last season when they played final against Newcastle. And it's nice to start with the champions, and we hope to see them continue with what they did last season. We hope to see them win because recently it's like they came back to winning ways after they defeated them Burnley during the weekend, 1-0. After a very long time, they've not tested victory. But one thing that is consistent about the Manchester United is that in their last 5 matches, they've always scored 1 goal. In the last 5 matches, the last time they didn't score was against Tottenham, when Tottenham defeated them 2-0. But since then, the last 5 matches, they've been scoring goals 2-1, 2-1. The last one was 1 they scored. I think that is good for their, their balancing because like they're coming up. And if you see what the hand did today, virtually is like the starting lineup is like a different set of people. The only people that featured in the last match against Burnley, just 3 players that featured that started. In the last one, that's Hannibal, Dalot, and Casemiro. They were the only, apart from that,
Alessandro Onana in this starting level.
And Alessandro Onana, the goalkeeper. I mean, I'm talking about players, not goalkeeper. So just 3 players: Dalot, Casemiro, and Aniba. Those were the only 3 players that started. The rest of them, they are new. So I don't know what you want to achieve. Probably trying to build team B. You know.
Yeah, probably wants to build the team B, but you know that it's a lot of fixtures, and you don't want to risk some things, losing your key players in football league competitions like this. Though they are the defending champions. Shegun, don't you think it's only wise for him to rest some of his key legs?
Well, it's wise he rests some of his key legs, because you look at the Manchester United, Manchester United squad. This is a team that has been depleted through injury and some of off-field controversies. You know, they are out without Anthony, who is a regular customer in the Manchester United squad. They are out with Sancho, who is having issues, you know, due to what's it called, maybe disciplinary issues. He's also out. In-house issues, so he's also out. So, you know, they have not a really big squad to actually play the whole full season. So they have to just manage what they have. Probably that is what prompted this starting 11. Yeah, it's not looking like a Team B squad, because this is a strong Manchester United squad. You have Andre Onana starting. You have Varane in defense.
We'll go to the lineup.
I know we're coming back to the lineup, but when you have Mason Mount, you know, a big money signing starting, coming back from injury, and this is the right game for him to actually start for Manchester United, so he can build his match fitness and confidence going into the Premier League during the weekend. So it's not relatively a weak Manchester United squad. This is a strong Manchester United squad compared to this Crystal Palace starting 11. So I think it's not really about him resting players, but he has to rest players so he won't outwork the players before the EPL games. You know, talking about the EPL game, they have EPL on Saturday. There's still Champions League to come. So a lot of fixtures coming ahead this season. So you don't have to just rush or overwork your players. We're still in the early stage of the league. So you just have to take it very much easy. And the AFL, you know, it's not really that big competition whereby you just put all your players out. So I think it's the right what's called league to actually test run new players and give them a lot of match fitness.
Yeah, Shagun said it's the right decision to rest some of his key players. And the gaffer, looking at the players he had to rest, I think that's most likely what prompted changing of formation for Manchester United. Do you think, because this competition, they're actually the defending champion, don't you think he should be taking it more seriously than just resting his key players?
Of course, I think it is a wise decision to rest key players. Because if you look at Bruno Fernandes, it's like he's overworked.
Yeah,
he's in
not
the
just like he's overworked.
He's in the Champions League, he's in the Premier League, and you want him to be in the EFL also, you know. You talk about Rashford also. He has been consistent in all their matches. So I think that it's time for you to say, okay, but guy, rest. It's not like this. It's not like to me, it's not like the EFL is a smaller league, but you play for pride sometimes to get it. Like last season, if you want to talk, you say, okay, at least Manchester United won a trophy. They won the Carabao Cup. So they can even boast ahead of teams that did not win anything. Yeah. You understand? If, for instance, now, if Chelsea want to yab Manchester City, Chelsea want to ask Man U will say, oh, we won one trophy. What did you win? Yeah. You know, it's a thing of pride. So it's good for him to use. To me, it's a wise decision to rest players so that they will be fresh.
Okay. So I think we are in agreement in the studio that it's a wise decision to rest the players. And it is the 14th minute of the game. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. And on the other screens, we can see Barcelona players warming up for their fixture that will kickstart, I think, 15 minutes from now. And it has been more or less like a match between Manchester United and Crystal Palace that we can't really say this team is dominating play. Shagun.
Still early on into the game, just 15 minutes has been played, you know, and both teams are still sizing each other to know where each other's weakness is, and let's see who's going to dominate play. But I expect Manchester United to actually dominate play, because when you look at the Crystal Palace squad, you know, even a strong Crystal Palace squad might not actually be a big hit against Manchester United, talk less of a semi-strong team against Manchester United. So probably let's see if this game is going to light up. But for the past 15 minutes, it's actually been both teams trying to size each other up. So let's see. We expect before the 25 minutes, this game is going to light up.
Yeah. let's hope before the 25 minutes this game will light up, because it seems a game that has been played mostly in the midfield.
Been a cagey game.
Yeah, it has been a cagey game. Playing as if it's a Champions League semi-final, they don't want to make mistakes. And straight to the formation, we have Manchester United came through with a 3-4-2-1 formation. I think you must have looked at Pochettino for that.
I saw the formation this evening. I was like, wow, Manchester United playing with a 3-man defense. You know, it's been long before we saw. It's been long the last time we saw Manchester United play this type of formation, because we know them with a 4-2-3-1 formation. That's the form. That's
the one they used last 4-3-2-1. 4-3-1-2 formation.
Yeah, the 4-2-3-1 has actually been their favorite formation.
Yeah,
playing with two pivots. I think that's why he actually started with what's it called, Casemiro and Amrabat in the center of midfield, so he can look at their work rates together going into the weekend and see if Amrabat is going to actually be a good fit with Casemiro in the midfield when they come back into the EPL and the Champions League proper. So looking at this formation, you know, at times you have to test new formations.
And that was a long ball too, but it was way out of place. Yeah, you can continue.
So it's always necessary when you change new formations and just not being static or, you know, stand still with one formation. Test new formations to see which can be flexible with your team, which can you interchange during the course of the league, because it's very much important. So when your team is being found out by other opponents, you'll be able to switch formation. At least we heard what's it called, Mikel Arteta of Arsenal saying he tweaked about 40 formations in the game between Arsenal and Manchester City in the Community Shield game. So that is what is very much important. That's what coaches, and that is what we'll be complaining at Chelsea, that we want to see Pochettino, you know, switching formation from the 3-5-2 formation he has been using, switch it to a more flexible formation. It's always very much important. I was so much surprised when I saw this formation today, and that is actually good for Eric Ten Hag. He needs to see which formation if these certain players can actually play. If I'm using the 4-2-3-1 formation, which certain players can I use? How much do they, you know, integrate into or change within the two formations? How much are these players comfortable playing the two formations? It's very much important. So I have to give him top notch for that. Start with the formation today.
Shegun, it seems Shegun is impressed with that setup. We can see Anderson getting some treatment. I think he has issues with his groin, or maybe his knee or there, but let's just hope that he can continue this game in the 18th minute, still 0-0. It's been a cagey affair. Most of the game has been played in the midfield. We can see the coach of Nottingham Forest Steve Cooper coming to enjoy some meal of the football. We serve them at the Theatre of Dreams. A theatre that is fast becoming a theatre of lamentation for Manchester United faithful.
You said that not us in the studio.
That's
your statement.
Dean Henderson going out.
But in actual sense, it seems Henderson won't be able to continue. He's been substituted already. It's always rare
to see goalkeepers, you know, go out.
In injury, you know.
I think Johnston is coming in. I think Sam Johnston, the English goalkeeper, is coming in to replace Anderson at the 19th minute of the game.
These are the kind of injuries that actually destabilize teams. You know, when you do substitution in the first half, it actually destabilizes the game plan. Yes, it affects game plans, especially when you have the number of substitution on the bench that you already set up and have it in your back of the mind that these are the kind of players I'm actually going to bring in. And when you start having injuries in the first half, it destabilizes the morale of the coach. Let's just hope this substitution won't be putting Crystal Palace on the back foot. But when you look at Johnston, he has another fantastic goalkeeper for his own level. He is a fantastic goalkeeper. Let's just hope, you know, he will come into this game and would be anything less, and it will be his best day in the office and not just an off day in the office. Because when goalkeepers have an off day in office, that's what I take. Whenever I see Pickford, I just want to see Pickford, which of his days is in office. Is it his best day or his bad day? Because when they are in their bad form, they concede lots of goals and it can be terrible.
Even some crazy goals sometimes. Now, the gaffer, looking at the setup of Manchester United, they started with Onana, Varane, Maguire, Dalot, 3 defenders. Midfield, Garnacho left side of the midfield, Pelestri on the right. They have Casemiro and Amrabat in the pivot. And the plane in front of them is Mason Mount on the left, and
that should be the
goal! And that's the goal.
We have the first goal again.
And that's the goal. Garnacho just made it 1-0 in favor of Manchester United. It was a sweet move, an attack down the right, set a pass into the box, and Garnacho was there to finish it, putting it at the lower corner, left-hand corner of the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper had no answer to it. That was a long pass to Pelestri. Pelestri put it down, set it to, and set it past to Garnacho, who taps it in. Oh my goodness, it seems Manchester United can begin to dream again, the gaffer.
Yeah, I think it's a moment to have fresh breath, because you know, sometimes when you see what is happening in your team, that's where good manager comes to play. We saw the struggle to win even against Burnley. Even against Burnley, a newly promoted side, Manchester United struggled to win. And in their previous matches, three matches they were beaten. You know, the last 3 matches before the one they played against Burnley, they were beaten. So it is wise for Ten Hag to come with a new tactics like this. But I wonder why he has to wait till the Carabao Cup for him to try such formation and try such players to come and give results. If you look at what they are playing, the formation he brought so far, to me, is very fantastic. It looks very good. And it's already paying off. You know, it's already paying off. The combination is good. And I know a lot of Man U fans will be asking, why did you bring in Maguire? Why did you bring Maguire at the back? But so far he has been so good with what he's doing. And if you look at the combination, Hannibal and Mount, then you have Martial. If not because of injury, that always take Martial, he will have been one consistent player in Manchester United. And we give you results. So far it is good for them with this formation. I think it will serve them to some extent, but not all team. But you have to study the team before you come up with such formation.
And Shegun, from the goal, what do you think the response of Crystal Palace should be like?
Looking at the Crystal Palace selection, I don't really expect much from them. It's just like a squad that they just set up together to test run a lot of young players. That's what I actually see in this squad. I don't really expect much from them in this team. So I'll be focusing more on this Manchester United selection. Coming into this game, you know, the new formation is something like, you know, when you play 3-4, 3-5 or 3-4-3 formation, is a formation that you have to be very much careful, because you look at the team, you look at the setup of the team, you look at the fans, and that is one problem Manchester United have been having. Their fans are used to, you know, playing more of enterprising football, not playing more of defensive football. When you use this type of formation against big team, you actually be more on the back foot, and it's actually going to affect the team. Because when you look at this, playing. And
that was a good attempt. That was a good shot.
Yeah, that was a good shot from Pelestri.
When you look at this, the keeper saved that. Johnson just saved that easily, and that was a good clearance from Redwald, from the pivot midfielder for Crystal Palace. So you can continue. So
when you look at the formation, it's one that is actually Manchester United can't really, you know, keep for a long. Because that is the fans are not used to playing, you know, defensive football. It reminds me of when Sarri came to Chelsea and was playing more of a tiki-taka football, you know, passing all around. The fans were like, it is a boring type of football to them. They are not used to that kind of football. So you have to put the fans, you know, in perspective to know which kind of formation, because they are the ones actually spending those money to come to the stadium to watch these games. Looking at this formation and looking at the goal scorer Garnacho, you know, I've always been of the opinion that I expect him to actually start games not in playing as a super sub, because he's very young. You're talking about a player that is around 19 to 20 years old. You know, coming up as a super sub at that age is actually to the detriment of his career. He needs to start starting game. He needs to start putting, you know, his input. His input needs to start being felt in games from beginning, not you coming in as a super sub and making changes in a game. It's too early for that. And, you know, talking about Pelestri, even at a time when Anthony hasn't actually lived up to that his billing, haven't lived up to expectations, and now that he is suspended due to some outside football affairs, this is time for Pelestri to actually take that chance. And looking at the last 2 games, he has actually lived up to expectations. He has brought in good things into this Manchester United squad. You know, a lot of
and
these
even
young players.
the goal now came
Yes,
from his
these
movement.
young players are full of runnings. You know, they just need this game.
And that's a long to Marshall. Oh, Marshall has been fouled. And the referee says play on with mouth on the ball. Try to set the pass to Ganato.
And that's one more with the goalkeeper.
And that was a good defense.
That was a good defensive duty there
from
Richards. You
know, Richards was present when it was needed.
And Palistro actually was feeling himself that he should have done better or should have made this decision very early there.
Yeah.
Good movement from Manchester United there, and he should have taken that decision very early.
I just
think what experience actually brings to the game.
Looking at it, the play, the angle, to me, I feel he should have shielded the ball better.
Yeah, he should have shielded. That's what I'm saying. That is what experience actually brings to the game. That's the difference between and a young player and a player who has the experience. A player at the caliber of what's it called, Kylian Mbappe will have taken his shots there.
Yeah.
Even what's it called, Rashford will have actually gone for a shot for an instant hit, not even controlling the ball there. So that is why you're having this kind of players starting this game, so he can actually boost their confidence and bring them into.
And that was a good penalty straight to Casemiro, and Casemiro just made it too. Straight to Casemiro, a bullet header to the right-hand side of the goalkeeper. The keeper had no chance, went straight in, and Manchester United are 2-0 up.
Right.
Now the theatre of dreams is beginning to look like they can start to dream again.
You know, talking about the Manchester United, I know earlier on I was trying to say that this formation it makes Manchester United have bite, unlike the previous formation we see.
That was a good corner kick from
Mount.
Yeah,
that was a good
positioned it straight to Casemiro, and it did justice to that.
So it made Manchester United have bite, unlike the team we used to see in the Premier League. You know, this formation is very good, but like Shegu said, it's not, you don't use this kind of formation to all teams. There are bigger teams, you try this formation, they use it to punish you. You understand? But as a good manager, you have to choose the kind of teams you use this kind of formation, and I'm very sure if you select and study them, it will be very effective for him to give him results. The
main thing about coaching is you just prepare for who is ahead of you, who is in front of you, who you want to play next. I'm not talking about the table now. The next fixture in front of you. Now, I think he must have had that in mind that made him start this kind of formation. And when he is going like this, today, I think Manchester United fans really want Manchester United to be possessing the ball more.
Yeah, that's what
I don't think they have been doing that today.
Well, they've actually that is one thing I've actually been looking at this Manchester United squad. All season long, I've been asking, what is the direct formation? What's the direct pattern of play Eric Ten Hag actually wants to play with this Manchester United squad? We've not really seen that exact formation. Because what I've seen from Eric Ten Hag going into the season, they have been a team that's actually soak it all and look for direct, counter attack to hit on the opponent. And when you have teams, when you play against teams like...
And that was a foul on Jordan Ayew from Hannibal. And that was a yellow card for Medjbury Hannibal.
That was actually unnecessary there.
Unnecessary.
Because you are 2 goals up.
Needless.
It was a needless foul. So still talking about the Manchester United squad, when you're not coming into big games against teams like Manchester City, these are teams, and Manchester City, Arsenal, these are teams that won't give you that opportunity of hitting them on the counter. They become frustrated.
Yeah.
So you have to work it. You have to just give a direct pattern of play. It's very much important.
And that was a cross into the box with a flipping header, still onto the right side, and Mateta Sakri couldn't keep the ball in the box, and he had to commit a foul there, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. Manchester United playing from left to right, and Crystal Palace playing from right to left on our screens. And on our screens, the game between Real Mallorca against Barcelona is about to kickstart. I think that will kickstart in a little around a minute or 30 seconds to a minute's time. We can see the formation right there. We'll give you update on that. And straight to Crystal Palace, they started with a 4-2-3-1 diamond formation with Anderson now substituted for Justin is now in goal. Klein on the right, Mitchell on the left, Richards and Holding center defense pairing, and Woodward and Doucouré, the two pivot midfielders, and Saki on the right, Shrub central number 8 position, and Jordan Ayew on the left hand side of the attack. Then we have Mateta playing up front as the center forward.
Well,
so,
not really a strong starting 11 from Crystal Palace. And you have to look at Sam Johnston, who came in for the injured Anderson. Conceding 2 goals in your first half. These are things I was actually saying that he will actually be destabilized. And I think that goal, I just hope it won't destabilize him going into this game proper. Because when you concede 2 goals in the first half, after coming in as a substitute, it actually affects you psychologically in the game. Let's just hope he will be strong. And I think against Manchester United is actually, these are the kind of games.
Especially at the Theatre of Dreams.
At the Theatre of Dreams, this is the kind of game you're supposed to use to, stick up, show that you are actually up to the task to start for your team.
And it's Pelestri with the ball, set the ball pass, and that's Mason Mount on the move. What can you do with the ball? Let's try, it beats one, set the pass to Medjbri, and gets the pass back to Medjbri. I think set it back to Mount, but that pass was too much. There was too much weight on the pass. And it's to now a goal kick for Crystal Palace.
I'm very sure Mr. Mount will actually be trying to get his first goal for Manchester United today, because it's very much important for him, for his confidence to get that goal. And when you have 2 goals up in the first half, a lot of pressure has actually been reduced in your team. So I think he needs to get that first goal today, so it won't be like another Kai Havertz. We're still expecting his first goal for Manchester after 7 goals.
He has not gotten a goal.
He very much need that goal. We saw a lot of talks against him during the what's it called, preseason, when he lost some glaring chances. So I have to take that as probably it was so much anxiety that actually let him lose those kind of chances. But now there are 2 goals up in the first half. You have to take advantage of this type of opportunity to do everything right and get your first goal. So you take a lot of pressure away from you. He's a big money signing for Manchester United. So the goals have to start coming. They have to start feeling the goal. It needs to start flowing right now.
So Mount needs to come to the party as soon as possible. The gaffer now, let's talk about Mount. And I'll still go back to Shegun too, but I want to hear your view on Mount and Amrabat. Now, when you look at Mount, he played, I think, 2 games before he got injured or thereabout. And he's back now. What are your expectations from Mount in Manchester United?
Mount have actually not actually lived up to expectation. And if you ask most of Manchester United fans, they are not yet satisfied with what he has brought to the table. But personally, individually, Mount is a very good player. And it's the slow type. You understand? Gradually, but what we are seeing today is another version of Mount. We saw the move, we saw the combination with Pelestri. You understand what I'm saying? From the right wing. He was the one who crossed that ball, and Casemiro scored. So that means he has had an assist. So gradually he's getting there. I used to say that he's going to be part of the team as time goes on. But it's just a matter of time. You understand what I'm saying? It's a matter of, and Amrabat, we see, this is his first starting. The last time he played was
Crystal Palace going on a counter. He set the pass to Mateta. What can you do with it? He tries to cross the ball in, but it was blocked by the Manchester United defender. Still round about the box. The pass back by Crystal Palace. Set the pass to Jordan Ayew. Receives the ball. Tries to take on Dalot. He set the pass in, and it was well defended and saved by Pelistri to set out for a throw into Crystal Palace. And it has been a game that Crystal Palace is trying to respond, but they've not really created a clear-cut chance in this first half. The Gaffer, what do you think Crystal Palace should be doing right now to at least bring them back into the game?
Well, for now, it's like Crystal Palace they're just trying to test. If you look at them, they're biting.